Hey guys, it's M4J here, and welcome back to North Reef City, here on City Skylines. Now, you saw me there immediately bulldozing the old bus stations that we had here at Reef Square, which is going to get a bit of a makeover this week. I've decided to make some changes, including adding a brand new little transport hub. Which I'm going to talk you through momentarily, as well as increasing, well, I do a lot to not help with traffic, you'll see that in a bit as well, but increasing parking in the city centre here, which I did say last time out, I will refer to this as the city centre, even though it isn't technically the city centre, but currently it is the centre of the city. Yeah, it makes sense in my head, even if it doesn't in everyone else's. But yeah, we're going to add this little transport interchange. Now, I was looking through some of the new... I say new, these are quite old now, actually. But some of the new stations that came as part of the Stations and Bridges, I think it was called, the Content Creator Pack. And I ended up settling for this one here, which... Is it called Market Station or something like that, I believe is its name? I liked it. I thought it looked pretty cool. It's a neat little design. But... in the usual M4J way, I do come in and make some big changes, including adding this little entry road here from the roundabout, and also, excuse me, I got hiccups I ate not long ago. You'll have to bear with me if I do get hiccups throughout. Also some parking. That's the other thing that we add. So I was looking to see what this city was missing in this area, and one of the things was parking, especially for people actually visiting the square itself, so the actual park, rather than just, you know, driving through on their way to or from wherever it might be. Ignore that, I completely whiffed the landscaping tools. Some games you have to click on the first bit and then click on the second bit and it will change the height. Some you have to click and drag, and I thought this was a click and drag, and it just wasn't. But yeah, we've gone with this square-shaped parking. Ignore what I'm doing here, it doesn't stay. One thing I really love, whoever came up with this is an absolute genius, is the fact that you can now snap parking spaces to an existing car park. Look at that. It actually snaps. You don't have to place it carefully anymore. You do have to do a little bit of higgledy-piggledy here and there sometimes in order to make these things fit. But more often than not, it does in fact work. It works immediately, which is lovely. It would be nice if the parking lot roads actually had a little guide to tell you how many spaces can actually fit in. I mean, I'm being really picky here, but it would be nice to have that, just so that, you know, I didn't mess up like I did here. Those disabled spaces on the opposite side there, they don't quite fit, which is annoying. But yeah, you press Control X and then you can move things around, which I think is awesome. And then you can end up building these huge car parks for little to no time at all, which is just great. I love it. Can get a little complicated when you reach corners, which you'll see here in a sec. This one I think was fine. In fact, that one I think fits two in perfectly almost, which is lovely. And then a little bit at the end here as well, and a couple of individual bays, just to smooth it all out. There we are. So this is the new, what was I saying? The new Reef Square parking. So Reef Square is the name of the actual square itself. The area of this city is called Reef Square at the moment, but I think I will change that. What to yet? I don't know, but I will change it because I think it needs a little bit of a rework to it. But yeah, like I said, this is the new entrance to the park itself. We use the lane intersection marking, the intersection marking tool. Always get that name wrong. Just to decorate this as well, make it look very nice, very lovely. Fill in this area too. There we go. Nice little grass verge. And then I do something quite similar on this side, except obviously the exit is accessible to all lanes. I think I go and add the priority signals. If I don't, I'll see that in a second and I'll actually go and add them. And then yeah, here we are. getting all of this done. I keep forgetting what I was going to talk about. It's because the second part of this video is the bit that I'm really looking forward to. If you thought the first part of this video was alright, you wait till you see what I've got coming up in the second part. Oh boy, it is awesome. Assuming that I've remembered this correctly. I think I have. But yeah, getting these other like grass verges in. It's a shame it still doesn't quite fit the pavement properly. It does to an extent, but not completely. But it's alright. It's not too bad. And now it's time to redo the park. So, this bridge that I had going over the road, I thought it was a really cool idea to start with. And then the more I thought about it, the more I didn't really like it. And now that we've got this new transport hub and car park, I thought, why not make the car park be like a park and ride kind of thing, where you turn up, you park your car, you can walk over the road, and there's the park. And I was considering making this one of the main parks in the city still, but I think there's going to be a bigger one on the opposite side of the river. So I decided to focus on that one instead. This is still going to be a pretty big, pretty important part of the city, especially as this is the tourism hub of the city. But ultimately, this is going to be the the secondary park, as it were. I think it will get bigger as well. I think I've kind of got plans for that. It's just a case of integrating it in. But yeah, there's the new bus station. We link it up to the side entrance there of the park. I do add some other little footpaths here just to make it look nice. I'm actually tempted to come through and use a different type of key for the water edge there. I think I can do better with that. We'll see about that. But yeah, the final piece of the puzzle is here. We're going to add this curved pathway. I do then go and fix these junctions, I believe. Yep, there's one. There's the other. And then we add the new main entrance to this. And this becomes the new main entryway for Reef Square Park. I think I let taxis into that little footpath bit there as well. I figured that would be a good place to build taxi ranks when I unlock them. Use move it here just to move the main gate into position. And this works really well, actually. It might not look it, but it does work really, really well. I'm very, very happy with this. We do get quite a lot of traffic around this part of the city now. So there is that we have to contend with. But overall, I wasn't ever truly happy with this part of the city, the way this park worked. I always thought it looked a little bit derpy. We still need to come through with some trees, obviously. But we have now at least got this like base of operations. And we've got intercity buses coming into the city, stopping off at the bus station there. I like the fact that the bus station and the train station are separate right now. And you might have also noticed when I built the train station, or the railway station, let's not call it a train station, it's a railway station. You might have noticed that I made 2 platforms conventional rail and 2 platforms metro. I am actually tempted to go and change one of the rail platforms to tram. And actually have an elevated tramway through here as well. Or at least have a grade separated tramway. You will see in the future that I have in fact got a plan to do with tram. I have started working on something. I don't want to give too much away right now, but I have started working on something. And that something I think is going to be pretty damn cool if it works, obviously. Setting some speed limits here then for the car parking as well. 5 miles an hour in the actual parking, 10 miles an hour in the entry and exit. I do like these realistic speed limit things. I think it looks quite cool. I am trying at this point just to get the lane arrows to look better. I don't think I achieved that goal in the end, unfortunately. But yeah, the new entryway is actually very, very popular. Very, very happy with it. We had this little derpiness here at this junction as well. So the traffic you can see is mainly trying to get into the city. I think not much of it is going to Linden Hilltop right now. It's pretty much all coming into here. People moving in, people going shopping, stuff being delivered to the shops, you know, things like that. It's fine to an extent, I suppose. It's not the most convenient thing. Obviously, the biggest issue right now is we've only got one way in and out of the city. Once that changes, then obviously the traffic won't be as bad going on down this one road. But right now it's pretty bad, let's be honest. It's pretty bad. And then, yeah, this part of the city. So this is going to be some more offices. I had an idea to make this its own little district, but in the end I decided not to do that. I decided to keep this part of Reef Square, or whatever the new name is going to be, just cause. I thought, why not? But yeah, I'm going to leave you to the music for a little bit. And when we come back, I'm going to talk you through a little bit more as to what's going on. You're basically just going to see me adding office space and stuff right now, so don't worry too much about that. But yeah, enjoy the music, and I'll be back with you very, very shortly. Okay, so that's the admin part of the video out of the way. Now it's time to get on to the good bit. So we've built those offices in that new little office extension area of Reef Square. And now we're starting to work on what will eventually become part of the city centre. Now, before anyone comments this, I already know about the update and the fact that apparently you can now buy and sell soil to neighbouring cities who may or may not need it. Trust me, I've got all the soil in the world right now. I will definitely be looking to sell some of it because I don't want to be building mountains everywhere. To be honest, I want to level quite a lot of these hills around the city. So that's actually perfect to be able to do that. I'm going to be very, very grateful when that's implemented. I haven't got the airports DLC yet. I've been holding off mainly so that I can actually play the game still, because I think the free update might have broken some of the mods anyway, so that might not be the case, but it would be nice to be able to play without having to worry about mods messing around with things, but we'll see. Anyway, this here is Arena Island. So the last city I built, New Guard City, we had Stadium Island, we had Varsity Island. This is Arena Island. This is our main stadium. I say main because there might be some others built in the future. We will see. But this is a really, really neat asset on the workshop. This is an Australian Football League stadium. So I've been to Australia a few times. I've been very fortunate to go to Australia a few times. And if you don't know what Australian... It's called Aussie Rules over there. And if you don't know what that is... Actually, is it? I'm sorry, I will tell you what that is in a second, but I'm questioning myself. It's an AFL stadium, is what it's listed as. Now, I was under the impression that that's Aussie Rules, but that might not be, because I think, isn't there an AFL and NFL in the States? So I might have got this horribly, horribly wrong. But yeah, for those of you that don't know what AFL is, oh, sorry, Aussie Rules, it's just carnage on a pitch, basically. Like, literally carnage on a pitch. I watched 4 players getting stretchered off with suspected neck injuries when the last time I watched a game. It is just a bloodbath. But apparently it's quite popular in Australia. And obviously it's called Aussie Rules because it's Australian rules. It's like a hybrid between football, rugby, NFL. It's got a bit of everything in it. There's probably a bit of cricket in there as well somewhere if you look hard enough. But it's just absolutely ludicrously insane as a sport. It's great fun to watch, don't get me wrong, but it's ludicrously insane, especially when you're trying to understand the rules and how the scoring system works and stuff. Oh man, just, yeah, it's an absolute mind mess, believe me. But the stadium itself here is quite nice. The reason I think it's an AFL, as in Aussie Rules Stadium, is their pitches are circular, and I'm pretty sure the pitch in the middle is circular. So you can imagine this is a UK-inspired city, for those of you that don't know, but it's kind of got flavours of lots of different countries. And I've always had a bit of an Australian flair in some of my cities. Not all of them, but some of them. I love Australia as a country. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful place to visit. If you haven't been and you get the chance to go, I do strongly recommend it. As I said, I've been fortunate enough to go a few times in my life, and I've loved it every time I've been there. Don't worry about the wildlife. It's really not as scary as people make it out to be, at least not in my experience. You know, I was bitten by a spider over there once when I was younger, but I'm still alive, I'm still fine, so I guess it's not that bad after all. Saying that though, the sport is strange. Like I said, Aussie Rules. But yeah, it's a beautiful stadium, I really wanted to use it in my last city and wasn't able to do so. So as soon as I had the opportunity to use it here, I basically just leapt on it. I thought this is perfect. So you can see the basic layout here of the parking. Basically, so we got I think it's 5 or 6 outer lots. These ones that I'm building just now at the bottom of the screen. These are kind of the overflow lots. These are the ones where if you can't get in the main parking, you'll end up in the other side instead. I don't know why I built that bit there. That was really weird. Trying to find a length that's just about right for these long length parking to actually fit in. I think I just about got it correct. I think there's like 1 space extra on each of them, but I do come in a second and shuffle it down. There we go. So yeah, sorry, I keep getting distracted. I'm just watching what I'm building like, oh yeah, that did look good. Just as a quick disclaimer, when I build these things, I sometimes look at it thinking, is this right? Should I be building this? It's only afterwards, like when the project's finally finished, that I go back and look at it again and think, okay, yeah, no, I see what I was doing now. But yeah, sometimes during the build, it can be very much touch and go as to whether or not it's any good. It's just the way my mind works. All these footpaths then connect up to the stadium. That's how you connect this up. It does say explicitly on the workshop, you use the footpaths here to connect them up. People walk to the stadium. I don't know how it works regarding emergency vehicles and stuff like that. I hope no one dies at the stadium. Maybe it just connects to the nearest road, because that would be awkward if, you know, there's a stack of dead bodies that can't be moved. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to find that out. Hopefully we don't find that out the hard way. Same with rubbish, in fact. I don't seem to have had any complaints about it, but again, we shall see. But yeah, I'm really liking this layout now. The more I look at it, the more I just think, oh yeah, it's good. We've got a little connection there too. That'll be a level crossing, or foot crossing, I should say. That little section. We do build a new road in here and connect this up. I do, in fact, replace that road even. But before I do that, I add a metro station or an underground station. Actually, before I do that, I add this, which is a bus station / jetty for boats. So we're going to have lots of transport in the city. I know I've said in the past that I'm not focusing too much on that right now, and I stand by that. I'm not focusing too much on that right now. But I am just pointing out the fact that we have got some transport on the way. I think this is me just setting the team. Yeah, M4J Arena. Choose the kit. I'm sure you can work out by now what colour kit we were going to go for. It's always going to be the Hatfield purple. Do a backup of the save. Learned that the hard way from New Guard City as well. The way it all just fell apart. I'm so gutted by that still, honestly. And then we finally add a metro station here. So again, there's no tracks that run to this right now. It's purely just placed so that I get a fair idea as to where this is going to go. It's not connected to anything. It looks very pretty, by the way. I love this one as well. I can't remember where I got this one from, but boy, does it look good. And then, yeah, we connect the path up on that side too. In terms of how the track slopes down, I'm glad this isn't Transport Fever right now, actually, because that would be very, very difficult to get the track to slope down there. It'll have to be like a spiral shape, I think. And then, yeah, we'd add these foot crossings in at the entrance to each section of car park here. We're not having people cross the main road. That's the trick. Or at least not constantly crossing the main road. There's only 2 crossing places. 3 crossing places overall where they can actually get across the road and not worry about being hit by a car. I think actually saying that, there are 4 crossing places. There's the one right inside the entrance. Then there's the 2 either side of the main crossing bit here. And then there's one down the other end near the ferry terminal. So what I was trying to say with that, so obviously this needs a bus station. It's going to be very, very popular. Going to have people coming in. I think it's in this episode. It might be in the next one, actually. I do add a bus line between Reef Square and the stadium, figuring that people would want to use that, particularly on match days. And already, it's not even match day yet in my save, and it's already used quite considerably. So I think it's fair to say it was a good move to build the bus line. And what was the other thing I was going to say? It was kind of important, and I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, the ferry. So we're going to have water buses going around the city as well. and that's going to be one of the main ways for people to get around, to be honest, especially if they live near the shores. I think that'd be a really good way for people to get around. But yeah, now we're building the approach road. So you might have noticed that the stadium kind of looks away from Reef Square. They're not connected to one another, and they're not going to be connected to one another. There's kind of a long way round to get from one to the other, and I like that. I think that looks really, really cool. I'm going to let the music take over again in a second, but I just want to kind of preface what you're about to see. Preface. I'm going to set up what you're about to see. So basically, we build a road along the waterfront, but elevated considerably. That's going to be like our main city centre promenade kind of thing. And I am starting to look more and more towards the city centre now and how that's going to look. So you can see the stadium's going to be connected directly to the city centre, or at least the part of the city where the city centre is, the CBD, Central Business District. They're not necessarily going to be exactly conjoined. Oh, sorry, just punched my steering wheel there. They're not exactly going to be 100% conjoined, but they're going to be pretty damn close. You'll see me build a road along the front. You'll see me build some tramway as well. And the episode kind of ends on a bit of a cliffhanger. You see me struggling with a particular road to make it look nice, and we do revisit that in the next episode. And I can tell you this now because I've completed the recording of the next episode, or at least the first part of the next episode. We do get it working. We do get it looking nice. So stand by for that. But yeah, just enjoy the music again, guys. And I'll be back with you again very shortly. So here I am then in the last part of the video, and I'm going to have a little moan to you guys. First of all, this tramway. So nothing wrong with this part of the tramway in particular. I think this has worked out quite well. But I wanted to have my tramways originally completely separate from all other roadways. And have them segregated, basically. The reason I wanted to do that is my last city, I was getting a bit fed up of trams constantly being held up by other traffic issues. So I wanted to stop that from happening. However, one thing that I realized with this city is you could still do that using traffic priority and delving more into traffic management. So it's not the end of the road in that regard, and I think I've still got some plans for some segregated lines, but this one here, it's semi-segregated. You know, it runs on its own right of way in the middle of the road. It's not going to be too big of an issue. The thing I want to have a moan about is move it and the slope objects tool. So you'll see I'm trying to build this like semicircular ramp that takes the road up to a certain height where it can then bridge over the water and basically allow you know, like medieval cities, they used to have ships coming through, and obviously as modern bridges have been built, some of them are still, you know, I mean, Tower Bridge is the one that springs to mind. I wouldn't call it modern, but it lifts to allow ships to pass underneath still. And I think there's a law that if a boat's coming through, the bridge has to lift for it. They can't refuse. I think I've got that right. I might be slightly wrong. Anyway, where I'm going with this is this road needed to slope up quite severely to allow boats to pass underneath were that to ever happen. Now I know just up the water we've got the stadium where that can't happen anyway. Boats can't pass. Some boats can. Water boats can. Water buses can. Sorry, all boats are water. Water buses can, but other big boats can't. That's fine. That was kind of part of the plan. But this bit here, I wanted to make it look authentic, basically. Especially as this is, as I said, the centre of the city. It's a major junction, this one. It gets cars to and from one of the main roads, which you'll see again next episode. I do connect that up. And it seemed like a smart thing to do, to build this the way I did. However, connecting this tramway up here, so this was going to be a segregated tramway. It kind of still is. You'll see I completely whiffed that bit. I have to rebuild that. I'm just keeping an eye on the time as well to make sure I don't overrun here, because again, some of what I thought I built in this episode I actually built next episode, so I don't want to talk about too much that I've not actually built here. So I will choose my words carefully moving forward. But yeah, oh yeah, I've got to remember how some of this looks. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. But I wanted to build this ramp, and I wanted to connect it all up, and I wanted it to look nice. At the same time, I wanted to have this tramway also go through. Now you'll see I'm using Move It and the Slope Objects tool, and yet it doesn't... Sometimes it works. You saw me use it earlier, and it worked fine. Couldn't have asked for more from it. This time, though, not so great. It just... I don't know what it was doing, basically. I don't know what it was doing. But I've got it to connect up here, move this road back, bend it round like so, and this is fine. But as soon as I select the points here, so I drag this down, and as soon as I select these points, hit the button. Okay, that one worked. Sorry, that one worked. The next one, though, doesn't work. And that's kind of what made me rage quit this episode, to be honest, was I just had this feeling that things weren't working out. And I'd already recorded for like 3 hours at this point, so I knew that I had plenty of footage to get a video. Oh, that bit there as well. You can see it didn't quite slope down how I wanted it to. It did again with a little bit of persuading. The tram line was the first one. The tram railway. Why can't I speak today? The tram was the first to not obey what I wanted it to do. And it just kind of spread from there. So again, this bit works, although that bit didn't. You see there, it all hopped up again. That wasn't part of the plan. And even that top section as well didn't really connect up how I wanted it to. There are some minor irritations, let's put it that way. I have to come and relay the tram line here because I put it on the wrong side. At the time, I wasn't expecting what I ended up building here. So, you know, I can kind of understand why I built that on the wrong side. Getting all of these sections here to be the same height. Again, press the button. They all flick up. That worked perfectly. But in a minute, you'll see me build the tram line here. And it ceases to work how I wanted it to. And I actually come up with a new plan here. I came up with a plan of what if we had the roads on the outside and then the tram line on the inside, and had stations, 3 stations, or 3 sets of platforms basically forming a triangle for the light rail system here. I thought it was a pretty cool idea myself, and it does work to an extent. It does work. I don't know what I was doing there. I just seemed to stop for ages. It does seem to work to an extent, but again, you'll see me start rage quitting in a minute when I can't get the tram line to go how I want it to. Maybe I didn't give it enough space. I wanted to try and make this junction as compact as possible. Because obviously in a city centre you don't always have the luxury of space. So trying to make this as compact as possible, but at the same time practical. And I don't think I succeeded. Especially that bit there where it wouldn't let me go underground. That was really irritating. And then that little weird bit there as well. So if you see me select all these points, I hit the level button, and you see the triangle there, it picks it up. So I'm like, okay, that's obviously not supposed to happen. So we come through and we try again, select all the points, hit the button, and it's just done it again. And at this point, I was just getting like really, really wound up. My girlfriend can testify for this. I was just sat here going, why is it not working? Why does it not want to create a nice, gentle slope? I was genuinely starting to tear my hair out. Just wondering what on earth was going on. You can see I'm using node controller here to try and get all these junctions to slope. And we still end up with this weird looking slope at the end here as well. Something didn't work, basically. Something didn't work. Off camera, between this episode and next, I have added a mod that allows me to add and remove nodes. Because I don't think node controller allows you to remove nodes. I think it lets you add them but not remove them. So I've gone through and changed that now. And I do come back next time out and fix a lot of these mistakes. Now don't forget, next week's episode is going to be on Wednesday, sorry, not Friday. Because this series alternates with Railroads Online and OpenTTD. So next Friday there'll be an OpenTTD episode, which means no City Skylines on Friday. It will be on Wednesday instead. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you all there. I'm just wasting time a little bit whilst you can see again me getting frustrated with the way that this works. It's so annoying. I can kind of understand some of the limitations here, but a lot of it is just so annoying. So very annoying. Trying to build these curves as well to link these up. Try and make it 2 sections rather than, I think it was like 5 originally. Thinking that might make it work better. It didn't. Spoiler alert. And having to place the same bit of track over and over again because it wouldn't connect properly. And then again, select all the points. Hit the button. And it still doesn't work. And at that point, I'm like, right, screw it. I can't be dealing with this right now. It does the same thing with the road as well. Slight spoiler alert. Next week, I have to go through and hand lower all of these points to actually make it function correctly. No idea why. It just does it. The only thing I can think of is because it's a U shape. That's all I can think of. And it's kind of curving back on itself. So it creates a slope from both directions that meet at the top. That's all I can think of as to why it does it. I honestly don't know other than that. If you do know, let me know. But otherwise, yeah, it's annoying. That pretty much does it for this episode, guys. You can just about see how this road finishes up looking. I'll let you guys watch the end of the video still. Don't worry. But yeah, next week, just a slight teaser as to what to expect. I fix all of these problems. It does now work, and it works really, really well. And then I go off and do some other cool things as well. Connect this up to the rest of the city. We do have traffic running through it now. We add the bus line. And I've started... I don't actually do this in the episode, but I've started in my head planning out how this part of the city is going to look. So I'm very much looking forward to showing that off to you either next week or the week after, depending on whether I get it recorded or not. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and of course if you enjoyed the series so far. Drop those comments down below with ideas for future episodes. It's always very much appreciated. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, try that again. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you have already subscribed to the channel, thank you guys for your continued support. Enjoy the rest of me tearing my hair out, and until next time, I will see you soon.